Act 3. He's a sorcerer, that one. He reads the thoughts in my brain. To Eric's absolute point right there, that they're just like an evenly matched chess opponents, you know. They're following the Romulan ship's path towards the comet's tail. Kirk orders the Enterprise to jump forward and attack the Romulan ship when its trail becomes visible. The Romulan commander hopes to double back and intercept the Enterprise, but on learning that his target is no longer following, he orders evasive maneuvers. Each commander has now failed in their plans, and they reflect on the other's intelligence. A barrage of phaser fire damages the Romulan ship. The Centurion pushes the Romulan commander out of the way of falling debris, but is fatally injured. Now, I don't know about you guys. I found it odd that starships are made out of rocks, because that sure looked like a bunch of rocks falling out of the ceiling.
It did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of weird.
That's some set reusing from something else, I bet.
Yeah.
Let's get some debris from the Rome set over here.
Just drop it on everybody.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the phaser circuits on the Enterprise burn out as the Romulan ship fires its primary weapon, which is a large plasma cannon. Kirk orders them to turn away and basically run from this blast, which is how they discover that while it's super destructive at a short range, it does dissipate as it goes on. Mm-hmm.
Which is super weird for something in space to do.
Yeah, I don't know if plasma would actually do that, but, you know, I guess it cools off.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not an astrophysicist, or am I knowledgeable enough in that area to even say it, but just from my own, I don't know, my own basic knowledge about how space works, I feel like that wouldn't happen.
Right. Well, no, it's because, like, I'm thinking, like, a laser wouldn't, or, I mean, it would, but it'd have to get, like, a galaxy away before it got so broad that it had no oomph left behind it, you know?
If no gravity acted on it, it would stay like it was shot.
Oh, yeah. Well, lasers, actually, they would expand eventually because it is light. If it's a solid shell, you're right. As soon as it's in motion.
Well, hang on though. The whole reason that lasers do that is because there's an atmosphere that it's getting thrown into. But if it was thrown in a vacuum, I don't think it would do that.
Well, yeah, but you got to remember how much dust and stuff there is in space. Eventually,
I guess you're right. Space is not technically empty.
Yeah,
you're right. I guess,
but you know, you fire an actual slug of some kind through space. It's going to go on forever till it hits something or until it gets captured in the gravity well of something.
I always wonder that about Battlestar.
Yeah, there's a game I like called Stellaris, where you can just be like cruising around exploring, and one of your ships can be taken out by something that was fired in a different galaxy 10 billion years ago. It just zooms in and hits your ship.
So I have less of a problem with plasma reaching the Enterprise, a plasma laser, or what it is, but they start talking about nukes in space, and that's not going to do anything either.
Oh, because they're talking about like get the old school nukes out.
Yep.
But then again, Eric, there's nothing saying that the Romulan nuclear weapons work the same way that ours do now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, aside from the terminology of the whole thing, I was fine with that. Like I didn't feel like, I feel like they could have made up another word instead of basically saying, "Oh, let's go get these old ass nukes."
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, I think that's just done to scare people. You know, it was the 60s right after the Bay of Pigs and all, you know, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
That is a fair point.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason that they drop nukes in there. I mean, you know, and definitely back then there were still plans for powering spaceships with nuclear bombs and, you know, if they could be used in space or not. The 60s was a weird time. They were planning on like, hey, maybe we could take submarines and put like a baffle plate at the back of them and just drop a bomb out there, and 6, 7, 8 bombs. Next thing you know, you're doing half a light speed. Wild ideas at the time.
That'd be interesting, seeing a submarine fly through space.
Yeah. Well, and it wouldn't work because, you know, they have to use the ocean as a heat sink. It was just like, you know, these wide, like, hey, what could we do to like have some kind of deep space presence, you know?
See, this is why the Earth needs a space shipyard, man, to build that stuff in space.
Yep. That's pretty much it. So they discover the range limit on the Romulan weapon. Now they're determined to prevent the Romulan ship from re-entering the neutral zone. Now, Eric, I don't know if you caught this, but basically it's illegal for either party to go into the neutral zone. So, I mean, the Romulans are in violation of it, but the Enterprise has been ordered to not violate going into the neutral zone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, about that.
Okay. Unable to stop the Romulan ship and aware of the consequences, Kirk orders the Enterprise into the neutral zone.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Korean DMZ, I feel like.
Yeah, that's basically the idea behind it.
Yeah.
Displaying the restrained emotion as his friend dies, the Romulan commander orders all debris and the body of the Centurion to be loaded into an escape chute as decoy.
Yeah, to hell with that Centurion.
Yep. I thought, look, I mean, you're looking at that thing, man, this is my friend's body, but you know what? If they start picking up, there's bodies floating around in space, they're going to think we're dead.
Well, what's that?
You know?
Well, we talked about this during Strange New Worlds, but there was that one submarine movie where they loaded up a bunch of debris in the torpedo tube and shot it out to make the surface craft think it was dead.
Yes.
So I guess they're doing a similar thing here. That's what I took from it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's absolutely what they're doing. They're dumping debris in a dead body to make it look like, yep, you got us.
All one crew member.
Yep. Well, I mean, you hit a starship hard enough, how much of what's going to be left? You know, I don't know.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, you throw a beer can at something at 2/3 of light speed, and, you know. The Enterprise picks up the debris on sensors, but in doing so loses track of the Romulan ship.